Hello everyone. Today we will going to talk about four factors influencing house design and function. First, let me start with the physical factors. Physical factors mean the nature environment of the house, such as climate, terrain, geology, and the materials we use to build. Let's talk about climate. In hot places like Malaysia, it's very warm, so houses need good ventilation. With good ventilation, the wind can blow through and the room won't feel so stuffy. So they're usually put in big windows or leave space for fans. In cold places, winters are freezing, so houses need insulation and thick walls. Windows should be smaller or use double glass. Besides temperature, we also think about rain and sun. If there's a lot of rain, the roof should be sloped so water runs off quickly. If the sun is too strong, we add shading like a wings or plant trees to block it. Next is terrain. Whether a house is built on a hill, flat land, or near a river, the method is different. On a hill, we follow the slope and might build in steps so the house doesn't slide down. Near a river, we have to watch out for water. Floods can wash away the foundation, so we need deep hills or raise the house on stilts like a stellate house. On flat land, it's simpler. We just need to make sure drainage is good. Then geology, which is about whether the soil is soft or hard. If the soil is soft, like sand or mud, the house will sink. So we must drive deep piles to reach the hard layer underneath. If the soil is hard, like rock, we can just use a normal foundation. It's easier and cheaper. Finally, materials. We often use wood, brick, and concrete. Wood is cheap and easy to work with, but it burns easily, and termites or moisture can rot it over time. Brick is quite strong and good for soundproofing, but it costs more than wood. Concrete is the strongest and is waterproof and fireproof, but is the most expensive and takes longer to build. So choosing the right material depends on the local climate, the budget, and what the house will be used for. That's the basic idea of physical factors. Now link physical factors to sustainability. Sustainability means eco-friendly and not wasting resources. For example, orient the house to get sunlight in winter, or use big windows for daylight so we don't need lights. Use local wood or stone to reduce transport emissions. That's sustainability. Next, safety. In earthquake zones, use light materials like wood frames and flexible structures so they don't collapse easily. In flood areas, raise the house floor like stilted houses. In typhoon areas, fix the roof firmly. These are all physical factors for safety. Finally, community value. A house should also care about neighbors. For example, main windows should face the street. This makes the streets feel lively and safe. Don't block your neighbor's sunlight or wind. Arrange houses neatly so the whole community looks nice and people feel like taking care of shared spaces. That's all for physical factors. Next, I will talk about economic factors. In short, how many affects house design and function. First is building cost. To build a house, you need materials like bricks, cement, and wood. You also need workers and machines like cranes or mixers. All of these cost money. If your budget is big, you can use better materials like solid wood floors, marble countertops, and high quality paints. If your budget is smaller, you need to save money. For example, use laminate flooring instead of solid wood or regular tiles instead of marble. But you should never save money on structural safety. I will mention that later. Besides the cost of building, you also have maintenance costs after moving in. A house is not done once it's built. A few years later, paint may peel off and you need to repaint. Roof tiles might get damaged by wind and need repairs. Pipes must rust or leak and need replacement. These costs add up over time. So, when designing, we should choose materials that are durable and easy to maintain. They might cost more at first, but they save money in the long run. Land price is also very important. Land in the city center is expensive because it's close to shops, schools, and subway stations. Everyone wants to live there. So in the city center, houses are built tall, like apartment blocks, to share the land cost among many units. In the suburbs, land is much cheaper. Developers can build single family houses or townhouses with bigger yards. So, with the same amount of money, you might only get a small apartment in the city center, but a large house with a yard in the suburbs. Finally, resident income matters. If people in an area have lower income, developers will build smaller, cheaper units. Otherwise, nobody can afford them. If incomes are higher, they can build big apartments or luxury homes with high end materials. So, economic factors decide whether a house is basic or fancy, tall or low rise. That's the basic idea of economic factors. Now, linked to sustainability. Sustainability can also save money. For example, spend a little more on insulation during construction, then save on electricity for AC. Install solar panels, high initial cost but almost zero electricity bill after a few years. Use durable materials like concrete tiles instead of cheap asphalt. Last 10 years without repair, saving money in the long run. So sustainability is good for the economy. For safety, cheap houses cannot skip safety, must install smoke alarms and fire extinguishers. Cheap but life-saving. Secret grounding to prevent shock. Window bars or safety locks for high floors. These safety measures cost little but can save lives. Finally, community value. If all houses are expensive villas, only rich people can live here. If all are very cheap, faculties might be poor. A good design is mixed income, different price houses so teachers, workers, business owners can live together. They share costs for street lights, gardens, playgrounds. This makes a stable, safe, and friendly community. Economic factors are not just about saving money, but also making the community better. That's my part. Thank you.
Social factors play an important role in housing design because homes need to meet the need of the people who live in them. First, family structure affects the layout and size of home. For example, larger family may need more bedroom and shared living area, while smaller family often prefer open plan space. As the population age, housing design also need to include accessibility features such as ramps, wider doorway, and non-slip flooring to ensure the comfort and safety to elder residents. Second, population changes and lifestyle trends influence the housing demand. In growing community, planners need to provide enough housing and public facility. At the same time, people value both privacy and social interaction. So modern housing often balance the private space with the shared community area. Social factors are closely connected to sustainability. Shared facilities such as community garden, playground, and recreational area allows residents to use the resources more efficiently and reduce the uncertainty and necessary duplication of the facility. They also contribute to safety. Well-designed neighborhood with a good lighting, a visual public space, and active streets create a natural surveillance which helps reduce crime and increase the residents' sense of security. Safe place area are also important for children and family. In terms of the community value, shared courtyard and community space encourage interaction among the neighbors. So this helps build a stronger social relationship, a sense of belonging, and a more connected community. Cultural factors also have a significant influence on housing design because they reflect on traditions, beliefs, and lifestyle of different communities. Traditional customer and religion beliefs often affect the layout and orientation of the house. So, for example, some family may include a prayer room or arrange the living space according to the cultural practice. Housing designs should respect this cultural need to ensure the comfort and acceptance within the community. Lifestyle and aesthetic preference also shape the appearance and function of the home. Different cultures may prefer the different color, material, decoration, or room arrangement. Some cultures place a strong emphasis on family gathering, which leaves a larger living and dining space. Culture factor can also support sustainability. Traditional building methods often incorporate the natural ventilation, shaped roof, and local material to adapt the environment. These features reduce energy consumption and improve the indoor comfort without relying on heavily air conditioning. So, in terms of the safety, some culture practice encourage route for a special planning and separate of the different activity within the home, which can help create a safer living environment. Cultural presentation also strengthen the community value when local architecture styles and cultural elements are maintained. Residents develop a strong sense of identity and pride in the community. So this creates a more meaningful and cohesive living environment. To conclude, physical factors ensure the house is suitable for the surrounding environment. Elements such as climate, topography, natural hazards, and the availability of the resources influence how houses are designed and structured. Take this factor into account, help create a home that are safer, more affordable, and more resilient to the environmental challenges. Economic factors are also equally important because they help balance the affordability, efficiency, and the long-term costs. Housing should not only be affordable for people to purchase or rent, but also cost-effective to maintain over time. Proper financial planning, efficient use of the resources, and investment in suitable technology can reduce the future expenses while improving the overall value of the housing development. At the same time, social factors focus on meeting the needs and the well-being of the resident. Good housing should provide access to essential facilities such as school, healthcare service, transportation, and recreation space. So it should also encourage social interaction, strengthen the relationship among the neighbors, and promote a sense of belongings within the community. So in this way, housing contributes not only shelter but also to develop a healthy and inclusive community. In addition, cultural factor helps prevent the tradition, value, and the local identity. Housing designs that respect the cultural practice and reflect the local culture heritage allow the community to maintain their unique characteristic while adapting the modern lifestyle. So this strengthens the people connection to their history and promotes the cultural community across the generation. By considering these four factors together, housing can become more sustainable, safer, and more beneficial to society as a whole. A balanced approach ensures that houses are environmentally appropriate, economically practical, socially supportive, and culturally meaningful. Ultimately, this creates a living environment that not only meets a practical need but also enhances the quality of life for present and future generations. Therefore, when planning and developing house, it is essential to take all these factors into the consideration to build a better community and a more sustainable future. Thank you for your listening.